Jack Angelus. Jack Angelus played Mr. Tuttle, the Bayside High teacher whose defining trait across the show's 4 seasons on NBC was his open and escalating rivalry with Mr. Belding.
Let me through. It's my classroom.
He turned up whenever the writers needed the principal off balance, and he always got the last line. Before he had come to Los Angeles in 1982 to try acting, he had been a practicing lawyer in New York City for more than a decade. He kept a long working character actor career on the side of Saved by the Bell, with guest spots on Baywatch, Melrose Place, Judging Amy, and a handful of independent films through the late 90s and into the 2000s. He continued, quietly, to work as a legal consultant on the side. He was married with 2 children. He died in 2009 following what his obituary described only as a brief hospitalization. His cause of death was not made public. He was in his mid-60s. Monty Hoffman. Before he was Coach Sonsky at Bayside High, Monty Hoffman had been a bouncer on the set of Howard the Duck, the notorious 1986 George Lucas production that has been described, more or less continuously since its release, as one of the worst films ever made. Hoffman had worked security, then he had started auditioning. For the next 25 years, he was one of those working comedy character actors who turned up as the coach, the neighbor, the bartender, the mailman, on every sitcom of the era. He was on Roseanne, he was on Boy Meets World, he was on Family Matters, he was in Judd Apatow's Funny People in 2009. His Saved by the Bell episodes as Coach Sonsky were the recurring role he most enjoyed reprising in his stand-up sets. He died in 2013 at 60. His widow said afterward that he had been in remission from cancer twice and had been happy for most of the last year. Louan Gideon. Louan Gideon appeared in exactly 1 episode of the original Saved by the Bell. It was Season 4's Earthquake from 1992, in which Zach Morris, trying to avoid a physics test, invents a baby shower for Mr. Belding's very pregnant wife, Becky, and then gets stuck in an elevator with her when a real earthquake actually strikes. Becky was Louan Gideon, and Zach helped deliver the baby on camera. She was in the middle of a long working career, mostly as a soap opera actress and as villains on children's television. She played the corporate CEO Danielle Atron for 4 seasons on Nickelodeon's The Secret World of Alex Mack from 1994 to 1998. She reprised Mrs. Belding for a Christmas episode of The New Class in 1995. She had beaten breast cancer once, in 2009. It returned in late 2013. She died in Asheville, North Carolina, on February 3, 2014 at 58. Her husband, Walt Borchers, Bryan Cranston, had officiated their 2011 wedding on Lake Como, died within the year. Dustin Diamond. Dustin Diamond played Samuel Screech Powers, the resident nerd of the Bayside gang, the one who wore Hawaiian shirts and told jokes no one else laughed at. For all 4 seasons of the original Saved by the Bell, and unlike any of his castmates, for every subsequent version of the show that followed, he was on Good Morning Miss Bliss before it started. He was on The College Years and The New Class after it ended. The years after the franchise were harder. He published a tell-all memoir in 2009 that his former castmates found so unflattering, he later apologized for it and said a ghostwriter had put the worst parts in. He appeared on Celebrity Fit Club and Celebrity Boxing. On Christmas Day of 2014, he stabbed a man with a switchblade during a bar fight in Port Washington, Wisconsin. He was convicted of disorderly conduct and served 3 months in jail. In January 2021, at 44, he was hospitalized in Florida with body pain and diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. He died 3 weeks later, on February 1st, after a single round of chemotherapy. He was not asked to appear in the 2020 Peacock reboot. Christian Oliver. Christian Oliver was born Christian Klepser in Frankfurt, Germany. He had made his American television debut in 1994 at 21, playing an exchange student named Brian Keller for the 26 episodes of Saved by the Bell, the new class's second season. He had, in the years just before that, been a starring actor on a popular German cop show called Alarm for Cobra 11. The career that followed took him across both Hollywood and Europe. He was in Steven Soderbergh's The Good German. He was in the 2008 Wachowski live-action Speed Racer. He was in Bryan Singer's Valkyrie opposite Tom Cruise. He turned up on Netflix's Sense8 and, most recently, on Prime Video's Hunters. He had recently wrapped a small independent thriller called Forever Hold Your Peace, alongside Bai Ling, which was still in post-production at the time of his death. On January 4, 2024, he boarded a small single-engine plane in the Caribbean with his two daughters, Anik, 12, and Medita, 10, and the pilot, Robert Sachs. They were flying from the island of Bequia to St. Lucia. Moments after takeoff, the plane experienced what investigators would later call unexplained mechanical issues and went down in the ocean. All four aboard were killed. He was 51. Eric Dane. Eric Dane appeared in exactly one episode of Saved by the Bell, a Season 3 story called The Game, in the fall of 1991. He played a football rival of Zach's named Tad Pogue. He was 18 years old, and it was his professional television debut. He would spend the next 35 years working steadily, small parts across the 90s on Charmed, on The X-Files, on Roseanne, before landing a decade-long run as the doctor known as McSteamy on Grey's Anatomy, and finally 4 seasons as the closeted patriarch Cal Jacobs on HBO's Euphoria. In April 2024, he announced that he had been diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, the neuromuscular condition also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. He continued to work through 2025, filming his final episodes of Euphoria's 3rd season, with a growing slur in his voice that the show's creator, Sam Levinson, agreed to write into the character. He died on February 19, 2026 at his home in Los Angeles. He was 53. He was survived by his wife of 22 years, the actress Rebecca Gayheart, and by their 2 daughters, Billy and Georgia. His statement said he was grateful for the love and support of his fans. Patrick Muldoon. Patrick Muldoon appeared in 3 episodes of the 3rd season of Saved by the Bell in 1991 as Jeff Hunter, the older boy who worked at the Max, took Kelly Kapowski away from Zach Morris and then cheated on her. Muldoon later said in interviews across the last 3 decades that fans still messaged him on Instagram every week to tell him he had ruined their childhoods. He was 23 at the time, a football scholarship athlete and drama major at USC, who had been discovered by a Calvin Klein scout. He would spend the next 35 years working, as Austin Reed on Days of Our Lives, as Richard Hart on Melrose Place, and most famously to a certain generation, as the doomed pilot Xander Barkalow in Paul Verhoeven's 1997 Starship Troopers. On Sunday morning, April 19, 2026, he had a cup of coffee with his girlfriend in their Beverly Hills home and went to take a shower. She found him unconscious on the bathroom floor. Paramedics could not revive him. He had a hereditary blood clotting disorder. The cause of death was ruled a heart attack. He was 57.